In this week's episode, we got the weekend recap, Lions become Bears and Jets, and NFL history can be made in the playoffs. Let's kick off the show. So, first off, we're going to talk about the coaching carousel. Ben Johnson becomes a Bear, and Aaron Glenn becomes a Jet. I first want to talk about Ben Johnson. He was the hot commodity of the head coaching candidates, and the Bears being a landing spot makes sense. Offensive young talent there with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. They just need to figure out the defense and the offensive line. But I think Ben Johnson, with the way he's able to make his play calling, helped this team out a lot. And they already seem like they have some sort of chemistry. Ben Johnson was excited to meet Caleb Williams. And it's pretty interesting to see him go to the Bears as a rival of the Lions. And they're going to be able to face each other twice a year now. So that's going to be fun to watch. That rivalry probably blossom even more now. And we got Aaron Glenn be going to the Jets. Kind of a tougher task than the Bears, in my opinion. You don't have your future quarterback there. There's some problems with having Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams on the team. So you need to find your new future quarterback. You need to get younger at wide receiver, though you have Garrett Wilson and he's a stud. Is there some conflict there? And also Aaron Glenn's more defensive minded. So he's going to definitely be able to help the defense, but who is he going to bring in as the offensive coordinator, help get this offense going, get it rolling again? And I want to ask you guys, do you guys think it's okay for coaches to have interviews during the playoffs? Whenever I seen that they were going to different teams and having these interviews, it takes off their mindset of winning. You just seen in the game, the Lions lost to the Commanders. It was a high-scoring game, but who knows if Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were able to put their all into that game, all of their focus. They could have maybe won the game, but instead they're not focused on going to the Super Bowl. They're focused on getting head coaching jobs because someone else might take that position before they finish going to the Super Bowl. And so I don't think that's fair. I think that any interview for coaches should happen after the Super Bowl. No one's going to make drastic changes in the next month or two that it takes for the Super Bowl to happen. Ben Johnson isn't already planning up the whole turnaround of the Bears franchise. He's probably taking a break from football with family now. So that doesn't make sense to me. But I would love to hear your guys' comments on that, your opinions. I'm happy that for you Bears fans and Jets fans, you guys have what looks to be solid coaches now. And I'm curious what routes both of these teams take. Are the Bears with an offensive-minded coach now going to even more cement themselves in the offense? And is Aaron Glenn going to stick with his defensive mind and be like the Steelers and they just commit a lot onto defense now and play a different type of game on offense, the slow melodical play? So that'll be interesting to see. Next, I want to talk about the college championship game that happened. it looked like it was going to be a total blowout snooze fest, and Notre Dame started coming back and got it real interesting. I want to recap on the players I said to watch. With Ohio State, I had Ibuka, Will Howard, and Tyleik Williams. Tyleik didn't really do much. He was clogging up the holes for the run game, which, I mean, if you look back at the running stats, they didn't do very well. Ibuka had 6 catches and 64 yards. He was, for the first half, looking very key in their game plan. He had one really bad fumble towards the end, but ultimately it didn't matter because the State still came out on top. Will Howard looked phenomenal in this game. He looked pinpoint accurate. His decision making looked great. I was talking smack on him saying that his decision making wasn't great, but I did say in the last episode that if he could tame in those bad throws, that they would have, without a doubt, a solid chance of winning, and they did. He went 17 of 21, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also had 57 rushing yards. Ohio State's offense just completely dominated Notre Dame's spectacular defense in the first 2.5 quarters of this game, and then Notre Dame just kind of turned it on. But Jeremiah Smith looks like an absolute superstar. 5 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. He's going to be exciting to watch next season. He's only a freshman, and he is tearing up the league. Same with Ryan Williams for Alabama. He's going to be interesting to watch again next year. But Notre Dame's players to watch, I said, were Riley Leonard, Xavier Watts, and Jeremiah Love. I thought they were the key players. Riley Leonard was playing really well. 22 completions, 31 attempts, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 40 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. He was playing great. They were playing down a lot of the time, so they didn't get to run the ball as much. With that being said, that Jeremiah Love, though, had 4 rushing attempts for 3 yards. He was virtually non-existent in the game, and they couldn't have that. Notre Dame is based off the run, and they just couldn't get anything going on the ground. With me saying Xavier Watts was going to be important, he still played like he was super important. He was everywhere on the field. Anytime someone was being tackled, it looked like he was making the tackle. So I can't put that on Watts saying that he didn't give out his best. He looks like a great safety coming into this draft. Notre Dame's, like I said, rushing attack just was non-existent. Jadarian Price also had 3 attempts for 13 yards, and so I think that's ultimately where Notre Dame failed and couldn't get the game won because of that. But I do also want to point out Jaden Greathouse, 6 catches, 128 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns, and this man is a sophomore. He also had a great game against Texas with the big catch and run. So I'm interested in to watch him next year as well. Some of these young stud receivers, they're just so fun to watch. Next, I want to talk about the NFL playoffs. Bills versus Chiefs. I think people are actually looking more forward to this game than the Commanders versus Eagles game. I put a question out on Twitter. Who do you think has more pressure, the Bills or the Chiefs, to win this game? The Chiefs to three-peat for the Super Bowl. First, they're going to have to get into it, then they'll have to three-peat. Or the Bills to even just be able to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs always seem to be like the Bills' kryptonite, especially in the playoffs. Though the Bills won in the regular season, and the Bills, I think, have a pretty tall task facing against Mahomes and these referees. Everyone knows about this whole referee stuff, and teams are coming out complaining about them, and it does seem like they are favored. Mahomes, of course, went out on the media and said that he doesn't think that they are, but if you just got to watch the games, it's kind of ridiculous how consistently helpful the refs are, though the Chiefs are still a great team. I'm not saying that they deserve to be where they're at because they keep themselves in it, though if a call or two isn't made throughout the season, they probably have a few more losses than they do right now. But with that being said, I think the Bills are going to actually win this game. This is the lowest the Chiefs will probably ever be, strength-wise in defense and offensively wise as well, with Rice not being in. I think that the Bills will win because Josh Allen is playing out of his mind this year. Cook is running the ball like crazy, and I don't think the Chiefs' defense is not going to be able to stop how highly powered this Bills offense has been lately. Though, if the Bills get in their own way and have turnovers, then I do think the Chiefs will win this game. But give me the Bills. Score prediction, I'm going to say 34-28 Bills. Another topic on this game is, are we starting to get tired of seeing Taylor Swift pop up on the big screen? It was interesting last season. I don't know why they keep popping her up now. Like, everyone knows who she is. She's at all these games now because of dating Kelsey, of course. I don't know why they keep showing her. It's starting to lead me like, what if she purchases the team? Are they going to show her every single game? That'll be absurd in my mind. I don't know necessarily like it's important to show her. There's a lot of more interesting topics to talk about during a game, but it is what it is. In order for the Chiefs to win this game, I would have to say that they need to get their run game going in order to keep the Bills' offense off the field. If they can do that and make it a lower scoring game and hold the Bills under 30 points, I think they can win that game. I'm going to move on to the Commanders versus Eagles now. And this one's really intriguing because the Commanders have a chance to do something that has never been done before, and that is have a rookie quarterback win a conference championship and go into the Super Bowl. So Jaden Daniels can be the first ever to do it. There have been 5 other rookies who have had this opportunity. Sean King, Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Flacco, Mark Sanchez, and Brock Purdy. I touched up a little bit on them last episode with playoff wins as rookies. But I had this thought of which of these rookie quarterbacks had the best chance to win that conference championship game. And Brock Purdy got injured during the game, and Ben Roethlisberger's team was very solid. But I'm starting to think that Jaden Daniels' team could potentially be that team that makes history. He could be the first rookie quarterback to ever win a conference championship and make it into the Super Bowl. And that would be phenomenal to watch. So that makes me very excited to watch this game. But that is a tall task because the Eagles' defense is great. Saquon Barkley looks like a man on a mission. And the Commanders' defense isn't that great to be able to stop him. Though they do have a very great front line. So there is a chance. But where it really comes down to is the secondary. And Cooper DeJean and this Eagles secondary have been elite. So can Scary Terry, Jaden Daniels, Zach Ertz, and Austin Eckler try to help nickel and dime this defense for enough points on the board? I think this is probably going to be a lower scoring game. If I had to guess the score, I'd probably say it's like 24-21. Give me the Commanders. I'm going Commanders Bills in the Super Bowl. It's the matchup America wants, and it's also what we need. We would love to see a good old fashioned Bills versus Commanders game. Though talking about both games, if the Bills make it and the Eagles make it, there's a joke going about that if Josh Allen gets hurt and Jalen Hurts gets hurt, then it would be a Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett Super Bowl, who are both former quarterbacks of the Steelers. And how ridiculous would that be? There would be turnovers all over the place. Kenny Pickett probably throws another ball into the ground and falls. It would be Saturday Night Live in the Super Bowl. I want to bring in a new segment called Culture News. This segment, I kind of just want to talk about the different things that are going on in sports that I might find intriguing, that you guys might find intriguing. So if you guys ever see anything, let me know. I can talk about it, give you my opinion. For this episode, I wanted to talk about the Paul Skeens card was found, the 1-of-1 rookie debut patch autograph card, and it was discovered by none other than an 11-year-old. This card is roughly worth $1.5 million. The Pirates have proposed to this 11-year-old kid 2 Pirates season tickets behind home plate for the next 30 years, a meet and greet with Paul Skeens, 2 Paul Skeens autographed jerseys, a softball game for 30 at PNC Park with coaching from Pirates alum, a private tour of Pirates City and Lacombe Park, and finally, a Pirates game with Livy Dunn in her suite, courtesy of Livy. Now, that is quite a package and quite a choice. $1.5 million or this slew of stuff. First off, I want to ask you guys what you guys think that you would choose. I think I'm going with the card and going with that 1.5 million. 2 Pirates season tickets behind home plate for the next 30 years sounds nice. Roughly, I think $750,000 that would equal. The Pirates don't want to become a good team. I don't want to sit behind home plate watching a bad team for 30 years. That doesn't sound fun to me. No, thank you. And that is the foundation of this offer. So already there, I don't want to take it. Now, if the Pirates decided to start investing in their team, making them better, this offer would actually seem kind of valid. If you say this is behind home plate for the next 30 years for the Dodgers, come on now. Yeah, that's worth it. A meet and greet with Paul Skeens, that's cool, especially for an 11-year-old baseball fanatic. Like, that would be pretty cool. 2 Paul Skeens autographed jerseys, I would take that as well. I would hang one of them up, and I'd probably sell the other one. A softball game for 30 at PNC Park with coaching from Pirates alum. That sounds rad. That sounds awesome. I would love to play a softball game at PNC Park with coaching from Pirates alum. I wonder who they mean by that. A private tour of Pirates City and Lacombe Park. Okay, yeah, sure. Pirates game with Livy Dunn in her suite, courtesy of Livy. I could really care less for that. I would just rather be in the suite too. I mean, the suite would be cool, but I don't care for it to be with Livy Dunn. So weighing these whole things, I would still take the card because then I could maybe purchase my own Paul Skeens jersey. The other stuff's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I'm going with the card. I'm curious what you guys would go with. Another topic I wanted to talk about is the 2024 Nationwide Charity Challenge. The top 3 finishers were Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, and Deion Dawkins. And the winner of this year was Travis Kelce. $35,000 went to his charity, 87 and Running. And his foundation, 87 and Running, helps underserved youth strive to become productive citizens by mentoring and motivating them to explore their abilities while learning critical life skills. The organization remains dedicated to providing resources and enrichment opportunities for youth in their communities through fundraising, athletic programs, mentoring, and outreach initiatives. It's a great charity. I'm glad he won it. I'm glad this money gets to go to it. So good for him. Second and third place finishers were Deion Dawkins and Mike Evans. They both get $10,000 for their charity. Deion Dawkins held his fourth annual 716 Community Day. He reached over 1,000 people who received free hot meals, fresh produce, free haircuts, clothing, hygiene products, and 50 bikes and helmets for kids. Dozens of nonprofits and community groups on site provided resources, information, and assistance to the members of the Buffalo community who needed it the most. I love players who do this for their community, helping people. I mean, that's what sports is about. It's becoming a community and being with one another in rooting for a team, and just seeing players make great impacts like this is just what it's all about, really. The last one I wanted to talk about was Mike Evans. He had the Mike Evans Family Foundation. Evans has worked to provide opportunities for young people in the form of college scholarships. This past year, Evans awarded a record 13 scholarships of $10,000 and two $20,000 scholarships for a total of $170,000 across 15 graduating high school seniors. Some people might say, like, oh, he makes millions of dollars, so that's not a big impact. I mean, it's still a giant impact in these families and kids' lives. 13 scholarships and two $20,000 scholarships for a total of $170,000. 15 graduating high school seniors. That is changing 15 high school seniors' lives. Like, that is amazing. On top of, there was a slew of other stuff, but that's just the thing that I highlighted there. Final little wrap up I want to talk about is a little bit of Steelers news, I guess. Russell Wilson went on the Pat McAfee show and said that he's in contract talks with the Steelers. I don't know if I'm the Steelers. I don't think I do that. I go with Justin Fields, or I go with neither and just take a flyer in like the fourth round. My mind this upcoming season as a Steelers fan is kind of at a loss. You need to find your new franchise quarterback. Russell Wilson is not going to be your franchise quarterback. He is a little too old. Justin Fields could potentially be that franchise quarterback. So, I mean, depending how much he would want, give him a chance. I think some people are saying around like $15 million. I would do that and go all in on Fields then. If he fails, he fails. You get a top pick. If he succeeds, then you know you have your franchise quarterback in him. So, in my opinion, that's kind of a win-win. But the Steelers are very conservative, and I think that they actually are going to sign a deal with Russell Wilson for something like $25 or $30 million a year, and that's going to be a mistake. Unless they are just going with Russell Wilson, letting Fields go, do whatever he wants to do, drafting a flyer, and then maybe in 2026 go all out and go first-round quarterback, which I think that's what should be done, because next year's draft class, A, it's in Pittsburgh, B, is much better. So that'll be phenomenal to watch and see. But I don't think they should sign Russell Wilson. He's a great social media guy. He's just positive about everything, but he's not a Pittsburgh Steeler. Another Steeler I'm interested about is Najee Harris. His contract's up. Do they sign him back? I don't think they will. He's had a great career in Pittsburgh so far, for 1,000 rushing yards to start his career, which is an accomplishment in itself. I think whatever team he goes to, he's going to be a solid back, but we need explosion. We have Warren, but we're going to need another punch. I like the running back by committee idea that is starting to go on in the league with Gibbs and Montgomery, Rashid White and Bucky Irving. I'm liking that 1-2 punch combination, but you need to have someone who is a little bit more explosive, and I don't think Najee Harris is able to have the ball carrier vision that he needs to have if he doesn't also have the explosiveness. He's a very powerful runner, and he can be fun to watch whenever he throws a stiff arm, but I don't think he is the type of running back that we need right now. So I hope he gets his money, but I just don't think it should be in Pittsburgh anymore. Next week, I want to talk about my top 10s on the defensive side. I'll recap the conference championship games. I'll bring you guys any news that I see, any more coaching changes around the league, and whatever comments you guys bring to me, any news or stories that you guys see, I will bring them up. I'll have my own takes on them. I plan on posting every Saturday, so expect to see a video then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.